Now I'm going to show you how the select by name command works, but before we do that, let me give you a little bit of a background. First of all, every object and every texture in an image will have a name. If I click on this tree here and then right click, you'll see it's a weeping cherry white. I did turn this tree pink in another demonstration, but it's really a white cherry tree. So if I select on the plant below here, right click, it's fountain grass dwarf, canna lily, etc. Everything has a name. Even the textures have a name. So if I click on the driveway and right click, that's ivory with a mesa brown decorative concrete, and this is grass. So everything has a name unless you create an object and you don't give it a name. For example, I'm going to grab the window here and I'll move it. It's now created an object, but if I right click, it doesn't have a name unless I give it one. Now it has a name. So you want to keep that in mind when you're selecting by name. So let's show you how that works. I'm going to go in here to select by name, and here you will see a list of everything that's in the image and the order in which they are placed in the image. For example, the window is the last thing that I created, so it's at the top of the list. And if I take this window and I move it anywhere on the screen, you see it's on top of everything. But if I go back into select by name and I take that window and I drag it below the weeping cherry, you'll see now it's behind the weeping cherry. Or if I go down further, and let's just take it to the bottom, now it's below the grass. So when I move it around, I got to click OK to exit. When I move around, you see it's under the grass, it's under the canna lily, and it's under the driveway. So you can change their position and their order on the screen by layer by selecting by name and then dragging it to a new position. Let's just cancel this and delete that window because we don't need it. So if you want to select something by its name and then move it, you go up to by name, and then you need to find the name in the list here. Now the plant I want to select is the Alberta spruce. I see that there are two of them in there. Actually the other one's already selected, so I'm going to double click to deselect that one and double click this one, and you see that there is now an asterisk to the left of it, meaning that it's the one that you have selected, and there is a bounding box around it, so I know I have the right one. Then I would click OK, and then I'm able to go in here and manipulate that plant, move it, size it, or even delete it from the screen. What if you want to select several items so that you can group them together? For example, let's say I want to group the three ilex together here. Again, I'll go into select by name. I want to deselect spruce, and then I need to find the ilex, and I see there are two of them here, so I'll double click it. It's selected the middle one. I'll double click this one, select the one on the left, and let's look for the third one, and it's down here at the bottom, so I'll double click it. So you see I have a asterisk or star on all three of them, this one and these two here. So now when I click OK and I go to move them, because they are all selected, they all move together. So you can do a selection of several objects at once by double clicking on them to make sure that you have the asterisk next to them. Now, one thing I may not have made clear with the window example is that anything that is brought into the screen will be the layer on the very top. For example, right now I've got the weeping cherry. It's on the topmost layer. There is nothing in front of the weeping cherry. But if I go into the library and I bring in another plant, so I've brought this new plant in here, but now if I go to select by name, you'll see that that plant is now on the top, because whenever something's brought in, again, it goes to the top automatically. And if I wanted to bring it to the bottom, I would just click on it and drag it like we did in the window example. As you can see, it's behind just about everything.